Alrighty y'all, so today we're going to be talking about traps, specifically budget traps, and which one gives you the best bang for your buck. We've got Duke, pretty much the cheapest most people can find, and then we got Wolf Creek. Let's get into it. So first thing is these Dukes are made in Korea. They've got it stamped on the pan and stamped on the bottom of the trap. And the Wolf Creeks are made in America, specifically Ohio, Akron, Ohio. And so starting off with that, let's talk about the prices. So I paid $5.40 for this one, $5 for this one. Now, the only store near me that sells these, there's only one store near me that sells these. So I picked this one up for $5, and I paid $5.40 for this one, although you can get this model $5. And you can see this one has the double jaw, which essentially makes it harder for coons to get their face under there and chew out their paw. And then pans, pretty much same size, just one is round, one is square. And then so now let's get into the important stuff though. We'll start off with chain. Duke has a swivel, which is probably nicer than what Wolf Creek has, which is just a ring. However, these swivels are not nearly as thick. That's just a bunch of mud there. It's not as nearly as thick as the Minnesota brand ones. And the chain, well, you can see there's just no comparison. Wolf Creek is much bigger chain on there. Also looks like, we'll bring it up there, we got a little bit more length of chain. Chain length might be the same, but end to end you get more length with the Wolf Creek. And then what I find really interesting with this one is the Duke is not base plated, as you can see. The Wolf Creek, on the other hand, is. Now, I mean, they're mink muskrat traps. You could use them for coons, so I don't think that's too important. However, if you did catch something bigger than that, or, if you get a really fighting coon, that might help out. And the other thing that I noticed here is on the Dukes, you can see where the jaw goes into the frame. It's just straight out, which once again, that's fine for mink muskrat traps. But on the Wolf Creek, they got a little bit of an upwards tilt to them. Now, this could just be this model, or, this trap specifically, I don't know. But that is something you see on like the bigger coyote traps. It makes the jaws harder to pull out. So that is a nice touch. And then we'll talk about these parts here. I guess you would call this, the hook is a little bit thicker on the Duke than on the Wolf Creek. But I mean, once again, it's a, mink muskrat, maybe coon trap, so that's not too big of an importance to me. One thing I found interesting is this is a brand new trap. This one has been used, but not very much. In terms of how hard it is to depress these, I would say, come on there, is about the same. Well, I don't know here. I guess it's kind of hard to tell. But I know feeling them in my hands, the Duke feels a little bit firmer than the Wolf Creek. But when I was putting it on the bank and pushing them, they feel, let's see here. Yeah, the Duke does feel a little bit firmer. And if we look at the springs here, there's 6 twists on the Wolf Creek and 7 on the Duke. Now, how much does that matter? I don't know. That might be the reason why this one just, to me, feels a little bit stiffer. But on the other hand, you have to take into consideration this is a Korean trap. This is an American trap. So even though this one feels a little bit lighter, and once again, I haven't really used this for trapping yet, but if I had to guess, American spring steel is probably going to last better than Korean spring steel in terms of the long run. This one's probably going to lose its, strength probably quicker than this. Once again, I haven't tested it, but that's my thoughts on American versus Korean spring steel. And then both have a brass pan bolt, which makes the pan move a little bit smoother. So And then the dogs look to be about the same here in terms of thickness. The Duke looks slightly thicker, but that's just because I've waxed this, so it puts a little bit of layer on there. And then that's pretty much the main thing. Yeah. Well, there is one more thing to look at. Let's look at the thickness of the frame. Thickness of the frame looks the same, but you can see the cross frame. Look at the Duke, and then look at the Wolf Creek. This section is definitely thicker on the Wolf Creek than it is on the Duke. So it's kind of a trade-off. There are some advantages of each. But I know when this trap with the base plate, you know, base plate, tilted up jaws, and a double jaw is the same price as this trap, and it's American made, you're paying American citizens, especially in this time of inflation. I think I would definitely buy the Wolf Creek over the Duke, but ultimately the decision is up to you on what you want to buy. So thanks for watching, you guys. Leave a like, subscribe, and see you on the next one.